I keep getting like catcalled by people more than ever before. I don't know if it's like pent up hormones.
Maybe
but
you're ovulating and they can feel
they can
it.
smell it.
Yeah.
Oh.
They can sense it. They can feel it in the air.
Wow.
We should talk about politics.
Wow. Welcome to the Wine About It. We're live. Let's run with it. You feel good about it?
Yeah.
We're live.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
Girls Gone Wild. No.
Welcome to Girls Gone Wild, where we strip...
Welcome to Girls Gone Wild. I was doing it again. The commercial's playing twice. Welcome.
Welcome to Wine About It.
Welcome to Girls Gone Wild.
You may be wondering, why does Maya's camera look so bad, and why is there just a white sheet behind her? And why is she in a gamer chair? And all of those
She's homeless now, too.
Are because I am streaming from a warehouse, because we have no internet at Alveus.
Girls Gone Wild.
Welcome to Girls Gone Wild. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Me neither, honestly. Welcome. This is an episode of Coffee About It. Don't worry, guys. We're bringing back the drinks.
A drink.
I actually want to send you a bunch of artisan weird sodas, and then we'll try sodas.
That's
like, good.
fun.
Yeah, so
I love that. They have fun digestive sodas.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. And like collagen water and stuff like that. You guys are so mad. Mostly about the poor is what I learned.
Yeah.
And the tradition.
Also, I would like to expose myself right now. I realize I'm not walking the walk using this plastic one-time straw, okay?
Oh,
we don't like single-use plastics.
Yeah, what the hell?
But one, I have lipstick on. Two, I didn't want... There's ice and whipped cream in this, and if I drank it, I was scared it would, and then it would be like a whole thing.
Don't tell me, tell the turtles, baby.
People got really obsessed with straws, and they were like, straws are the enemy. If we stop using straws, we save the planet. But there are single-use plastics everywhere. But yes, no, single-use plastics in general are bad. Straws are not what are killing our planet, baby. But
tell the turtles.
Okay, I will. I'll tell the turtles. I'll tell them another time.
But we'll bring back the pour starting next week, because I'm going to send you some drinks. I still cannot have alcohol, or I'm not comfortable having alcohol.
That's fine.
Apparently I could if I was wild, but I'm not. I'm not comfortable.
I don't really. Yeah, I'm not. I don't miss it that much, to be honest. The alcohol part, anyway.
Yeah. There's a few people that have been saying you should just add the H and call it Wine About It. Yeah, that was the pun to begin with, you idiots.
I also just don't think it's that serious. Like, we never were a wine podcast ever. It's just a branding thing.
Are you serious?
Cutie and I both don't like wine.
I'm okay with wine.
Okay, well, I'll drink it.
Tier list of alcohols, it's not on the top.
Have you ever had a Aeropostale Spritzer? Aperol? Chaperone?
Lysol, yes.
Yum. It's all over TikTok right now. People are drinking them, and I want one, but then people also say it tastes like medicine.
But it's alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Delicious.
What about a good aperitif?
I don't know
what that is. That's what I thought you were trying to say. It's like alcohol that you drink after dinner that's supposed to help you digest.
Have you ever had an old fashioned?
Yeah, I drink that's like my go-to.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never had one.
Old fashions or whiskey neats.
I've never had one.
I love whiskey. Unironically, I am a whiskey girl.
Wow. Okay. Actually, I'm furious that you just said that, because
that's why
you
I
have
made
given
that
me
face.
For years for liking
being
beer
a girl
and being an IPA girl, and you've been a whiskey girl this whole time undercover.
I'm a whiskey girl this whole time.
That is so hypocritical.
I know it is.
I hate
that. For the men that don't understand the subtle undertones here, those are both pick-me girl alcohols.
It's just not a coincidence. Cutie and I are both better than other girls.
That's not true.
Okay. I just saw the Barbie movie yesterday. I'm woke actually now.
She's actually so woke. Well, okay, because there's like the vodka girl, and those are like the party girls. Those are those skinny queen party girls.
Tequila too, no?
Tequila girls, yeah, but they're like more wild. Those
Yeah,
are the wilder
out of control.
versions.
Unhinged girls.
The Everclear girls, keep them at home. Do not let them out.
She's not okay.
She's not okay.
She's not chilling.
The Moonshine girls, they don't leave home because they're fucking their brothers.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a Moonshine girl unless they're fucking their brothers, and don't pretend like there isn't.
Okay. Kind of messed up. Q's gonna turn her gain down a little bit.
I'm turning my gain down. Sorry, everybody.
There's whiskey
yeller.
girls.
There's whiskey girls who are like, I'll just have a whiskey.
Classy, one drink, only likes quality whiskey.
Yeah, but like we'll also like shoot guns with you if you want.
Yeah, I can keep up with the boys. No, that's me actually. Beer
I
girls.
can't keep up with the boys.
I can keep up with the boys, except I can't shotgun a whole beer because it makes my tummy hurt.
And then there's like martini girls, gin girls. Those are hipsters. Gin girls are hipsters. I used to be a gin girl. I used to be hip.
I like gin.
What else? What other wine girls? Honestly, they're just anyone over the age of 30 that just wants to have a nice night. You're a wine girl. Congrats. You deserve it.
Jaeger.
Jaeger girls also should be locked up. Keep them inside. I know one Jaeger girl and she needs to be locked up.
I know one Jaeger girl and she crazy.
I think we know the same Jaeger girl. You gotta lock her up, dude. You gotta lock her up.
I think that's it.
Yeah, but those are the girls. But all I should tell you is avoid whiskey or beer girls. And the most truthful girl out there is probably the vodka girl.
Yeah, like a vodka cran.
Yeah, she's figured out how to just drink it without,
Also,
vodka cran,
fun bar thing. I say this like it's a hack, like no one else knows about it. I didn't know that you could get a dirty Shirley Temple. Like you can get an alcoholic Shirley Temple. So a lot of times at bars, if I don't care about myself for the next day, I get dirty Shirley's. And it's Shirley Temple and vodka, and it's so yummy. It just tastes like a Shirley Temple. It's great.
Wow, that does sound yummy.
A lot of sugar, and so then the next day, you're really sad.
I went through a phase when I was so now I'm for the record, now I am an actual whiskey girl. If you're asking me which alcohol I would choose whiskey. Like it's in a lineup. I will have a glass of whiskey, please. But
by itself, like you just drink it.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. I don't have any hard alcohols like that.
I like whiskey. I like it. I like the way it makes my tongue feel. Yeah, it's weird, but I do. I like the little. That's the only way I can describe it.
Never had that.
I look so red in the camera today. It's really pissing me off. Anyway, but before I was you have to learn to love whiskey. It's how it works. But before I learned to love whiskey, I unironically was like just trying to be a whiskey girl. So when you trying, that's the problem.
That's what happened with me with beer. That's true.
Yeah.
I hated beer in college. I hated it.
Yeah.
My brother loves IPAs, and so he tried really hard to get me into it. And so I would drink them for him, but now I actually like them.
Yeah. So there's always a cringe beginning to liking an alcohol that's not just vodka.
For sure.
Yeah. But I remember I was on a first date, and it was right when I was like watching Mad Men. And so, and I was new to drinking, mind you guys, like I was very, very new to drinking. And so I didn't know anything. They need to have like a drinking education class when you turn 21.
It's this
podcast,
just do that in
baby.
Health, and then we should be able to drink when we're 18, but we're in America, so.
Okay, well, my brain doesn't stop developing until I'm 21.
I think it's 25.
Oh my God. Why did I drink at 21? My brain.
So you're not alcohol educated, you're on a first date?
On a first date, and I had just been watching Mad Men. So I was like, I'll have a whiskey neat. And so they bring me a whiskey neat, and I'm sitting there on this. It's just whiskey with one ice cube. It's usually one big ice cube.
Gross.
Actually, wait, that's whiskey on the rocks. Wait, whiskey neat is no ice cube, right? Wait 1 second.
Grosser.
That's how I drink it now. I actually like it.
No ice, just in the glass.
Without any mixers. Yeah, so I'd said a whiskey on the rocks. Wait, what? No, what's a whiskey? Straight whiskey, neat whiskey. straight and neat are the same. Oh yeah, so I said like whiskey on the rocks or something like that. I was like, I'll just have some whiskey on the rocks, and they're like, what kind? And I didn't know any kinds back then, so I was like, bourbon. So then I'm sure they just brought me like Jack, and then yeah, and then I sat there on that date pretending to be like really cool and really just like my whiskey on the rocks.
Oh my god, I couldn't not make a face. There's no way.
I did it. I did it.
I
cool
could see myself at some point in my life getting into like not hating whiskey. I think that's the only hard alcohol I could see myself sipping on. Because vodka, nobody does that, right? Nobody sips that, right? I don't think so.
I think they could.
People do sip tequila, and
yeah, they do. I could never. I
would
hate
rather
the taste of
my
tequila.
life than do that. I've said this before. I'm absolutely traumatized by tequila. I went to a college party at UC Berkeley, and I drank a bunch of tequila shots, and then I threw up, and I was so drunk, but I wanted the taste to throw up out of my mouth, and I was like, oh, I'll take a shot of tequila to get the taste of yak out of my mouth, and then I took another shot, and then I threw up again. So, it ruined tequila forever for me, and I can't even smell it anymore. Also, the next day I was super hungover, and there was tequila on the top of my refrigerator, and I closed the fridge too hard, and the bottle fell on the kitchen floor, shattered. Its glass smelled it. Shattered on the floor. I had to be on my hands and knees, picking up glass, cleaning up tequila, and I was hungover and had already thrown up that morning from the tequila from the night before. It's just never gonna. I'd never recover from that. Never.
Yeah, tequila haunts you. It haunts you.
But the girls that are committed to tequila are committed to tequila. Like, they love it.
Ludwig's a tequila girl.
Mm.
And I think, genuinely, I think he got it from his ex. I think his ex was a tequila girl.
Drama. Take the tequila away. Why do you drink it?
You know what that means about her.
What does it remind you of?
Tequila girl. She crazy.
Have you had Everclear?
She had to be crazy. Yes, actually. So there was this girl named Manuela.
No, wow.
She was very cool.
It's incredible.
Her real name was not Manuela. She would just asked people to call her Manuela. That's why I feel fine giving her, like, because usually we use fake names. I feel fine saying Manuela because her real name was like Sam or something.
That is crazy.
She was like, call me Manuela. And I was like, okay. And the first time I got like invited to like a party actually was a bunch. Okay. I lied. I gaslit myself in this very moment. I didn't try the Everclear. I lied and told them I drank it. And so as I'm retelling the story, I'm telling it like the lie that I told them, and I'm realizing I didn't actually drink it because I know I didn't. So I was 18 and it was in high school, and this girl went to a different school, and I did not have friends senior year of high school because of all the drama.
They got Everclear in high school?
Yeah, crazy.
That's
so Manuela
dumb.
And Chelsea, I want to say it was like Manuela and Chelsea and myself. Each of them went to different schools too. So Manuela didn't go to the same school as Chelsea. And they there's like this club that you could like sneak into if you were 18. That was supposed to be like 21 plus.
Okay.
But it was like really easy to sneak into, and it was during Halloween, and they were doing like a Halloween party, like a big Halloween party. So we're like, let's do it. And so wait, let me Google this.
For the record, guys, Everclear is just, it's hard alcohol that's a ridiculously high percentage. It's like, isn't it like 80% or something? Vodka's like 40%, something like that. It's like twice as much. It is, if you've ever wanted to experience getting face fucked by Purell's nasty, cheap cousin, you can try it. But if that doesn't sound appealing to you, avoid. If people are like, oh, we're taking Everclear shots, avoid those people.
Avoid those people. And I needed to, believe me, I needed to avoid Manuela. I'll finish my story about her. But so we go to this party, and like, this is like, I'm in my fake slut phase. I would like everyone to know. I wanted to be a slut so badly, but nobody wanted me.
No, it's way worse.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know why. I look back at the pictures because I remember hating myself when I was like my whole life. But I'll look back at the pictures of me at this thing. Actually, I think I can pull one up. I think I have one on my phone because I talked about this fairly recently. That's why it's on the top of my head.
And you looked
But
hot, and they still didn't want you.
we went as one night stands.
Ugh.
So we're wearing like lingerie, and then and I'm like, where are my parents, by the way? I don't know. Lingerie.
This is in
and
high school?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that
and
is crazy.
a men's button-up shirt, and it's all like buttoned all wrong, and only one earring. And I believe the earring had cursive in it that said like slut or something like that. And then this is problematic. And then men's socks and like one heel and one men's shoe, and that was like our costume, and the three of us all wore the same thing.
Holy.
Yeah.
Dude, 75% of the party attendants being virgins too. That is so cringe.
I don't know if they were. I don't think they were, because it was mostly 21 plus.
Oh, I thought it was a high school
we snuck
party.
into a club.
I see.
No.
Okay.
But I was like the driver, and so we were at Manuela's house, or maybe it was Chelsea's house. I don't know, one of their houses. And they start like doing shots of Everclear and just chasing it with Sprite. And that was it. And they were just like taking a shot, and they're like, Blair, take a shot. And I was like, for sure, just trying so hard to fit in with these people. Like, no. I did not stay above the influences. I wanted to fit in because I had no friends. And so we were all in the bathroom, like getting ready. And so they gave me my shot, and I knocked off my makeup with my elbow. So I was like, oh shit. And as I was like picking it up, I poured my shot down the drain, like over the commotion. Everyone was like, high school girls freaking out. And so then I leaned in and pulled my shot down the drain, and I was like, whatever, I'll pick it up later. And then we took the shot.
Right. Nice. Clever.
And then I was like, ew, and
well
pretended
done.
it tasted gross. And then I only to this day am remembering that I lied to them because I didn't actually try Everclear, but they were drinking Everclear.
I don't know if
and that was a long story to tell you about a time that I didn't take Everclear.
I did. The only time I've faked a shot is throwing it over my shoulder. I've done that before at parties.
Where?
In
college.
It
just falls on someone?
Probably.
Wow.
In fairness, I am 90% sure I would put a lot of money on I threw it at a frat guy, which
good.
I have no remorse for.
Yeah. No remorse.
Would have been at a frat party. Like, here's your shot. Thank you.
Dude. Let me see. I definitely have pictures of this. Oh my gosh,
have you ever had absinthe?
Yes, I actually really like absinthe.
I have never had it, and I'm really interested in it. Absinthe is alcohol that makes you hallucinate for some reason.
Yeah, but it's not allowed in America.
Oh.
So real absinthe, you won't hallucinate on any that you drink in America. Besides in Louisiana, because they're grandfathered in. However, you have to drink enough to hallucinate, which you just won't do.
Okay. Well, never mind. Then my curiosity is over.
It's really cool though, because it's a very pretty ceremonial drink almost. I actually, when I went to Louisiana, I bought this special spoon and stuff, and you put a sugar cube on top of the spoon, and the spoon has holes in it, and you light it crack, and then the sugar melts into the absinthe.
Have you ever done crack?
And then you drink the absinthe. No, but I pretended to once with Manuela. Just kidding. Imagine.
That'd be crazy.
Dude, where it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm sorry, I'm doing that thing.
She's looking for a picture of her hot underage self.
When I was hot and underage.
It's a good choice. Good choice. I'm at the point in my life where I like drinking sometimes, but I'm good to get drunk once every few months.
Yeah.
I like going out once a month. I like going to bars and stuff once a month or something like that. But my days of every week going out getting drunk are over.
These pictures are so funny. I shouldn't show it because it's just Manuela right after taking a shot of Everclear. But I don't want to dox Manuela in case what if someone notices her.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many white girls that its name is Samantha that actually goes by Manuela. But I'll crop her out of this picture.
Okay.
You can kind of see. Okay. Oh my god, it's so bad. These pictures are so bad. They're so embarrassing.
I have a lot of really gnarly Snapchat memories from college of me drunk and other people drunk. There's a whole Snapchat thing of my 21st birthday where I like, oh my god. That's so funny.
The picture of Manuela with her.
That's so funny.
But let me see.
The whole night of my 21st birthday is recorded and on Snapchat, and I like dancing on a bar. I was like licking a wall full of gum. Did I tell you I did that?
In Seattle?
No.
Or where? You can't show Manuela.
Don't show that. It's kind of fair.
Sorry, that was my bad. Editor, don't show that. Sorry, that's just for Maya.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, there's a gum wall in San Luis Obispo where I went to college. And there's on their 21st birthday, there's a bunch of stuff that you have to do. One of them's lick the gum wall. And it's just a place where everybody sticks their gum, and I licked it.
That's gross.
It's really gross, admittedly. It's really gross. You're also supposed to twerk on the gum wall.
Ew.
So you like put your feet on it and twerk, which to this day apparently is something I did because it got checked off. I have no idea how, because I've never twerked in my life.
How many things are on this checklist?
I put it around my neck, and it was a board that was like this big, and there were like a bunch of them.
Do you think people still do that?
Yeah.
Really?
There anyway. I mean, at Cal Poly, yes. But I don't know about elsewhere. I don't know if it's an elsewhere thing.
No, I'm saying like Cal Poly specifically. I was wondering if you think people still do that.
I think they do. I think we should go fake a 21st birthday. And
Okay. Here's a picture of young hot me.
Wow. You look like a Barbie.
With platinum blonde hair that's fried off, the fakest tan in the whole wide world.
Do you have
that's
pink eyeshadow on?
Hot pink lingerie because I'm a one night stand.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, you look like a picture from the news.
Of a girl found.
Found. Going to that party.
After drinking Everclear.
Ew.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Why are we talking about that? How did we get here?
I don't know.
Oh, we were talking about different alcohol girls. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're coffee girls this week.
We are.
Cutie
got an iced vanilla latte.
Yeah, I did. It's all melted and like doing that gross thing where it separates and I don't have a straw to mix it. Because I love the turtles.
Okay, in your plastic cup.
Oh, I just spilled.
No!
In my plastic cup. Damn it.
Spilled it. I have an article up on my phone right here about aliens, but I know there's other things that we can talk about.
No, there are other things. God.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my pretend slut phase where I wasn't a slut, but I wanted to be a slut so badly.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted boys to make out with me and no one would.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I tried my best. You know, I have kissed less. I could count on two hands how many boys I have kissed.
Did I ever tell you about that one night when I had a competition with my friend in college?
To kiss as many boys as possible?
Yeah.
Kiss
as many people as possible.
Oh,
it was
easier.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
She was in the 60s and I was in the 40s.
Jesus Christ.
You just grab, everybody just makes out at those parties. It was it was crazy and also so risky, and I can't believe that I never got herpes.
Or throat chlamydia.
I did get sick.
Oh.
After one of those, after a
Or mono.
Or mono.
Don't
do that.
I girls don't count. I've probably kissed as many girls. I've probably kissed more girls than boys, honestly.
No. I don't think that that's true for me.
I've kissed so many boys. I've kissed no boys.
I
just never had the opportunity. I don't know why.
Also, wait, before we talk about all this, apparently it's a thing that people think we make things up because they're like, oh, she said it was 6 guys that she dated, or she said it was 3 boyfriends ago before. For the record, I'm really not trying to make stuff up. I just don't remember these things. What is that?
I don't know.
Sad.
It looks like nail polish.
Cutie and I both just don't remember.
I just don't remember.
We don't remember things.
I think it's did you get this from my Reddit recap that I did?
Maybe. I don't
I did a
remember.
Reddit recap on the Patreon.
Oh, where they were
and
like speculating. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one person that was like, do you guys ever notice there's like differences in their stories? And it's like, yeah, because we're old and these things happened years ago. Every time I tell a story, I assure you I remember it differently, or I exaggerate parts of it differently, or like I forget different things and try to fill them in with something else. I'm not purposely trying to do it. I don't think I've ever told a like purposely fake story besides that time when you and I were trying to come up with a fake story on an episode. But if there's ever like issues in my story, I'm doing my best, but it's hard when your stories are under microscopes and you're also just like a human.
Right.
And they happened years ago, so.
Yeah.
But so speaking of never being lusted after, something is going on recently. I don't know if like I'm going out more in the daytime. I'm trying to do
audio
this on
listeners,
purpose.
I'm trying to peel all my nails off. I'm sorry if
They
you're
don't
just watching
care.
me like burp, burp, burp. I don't want to seem like I'm not paying attention to you because I'm just like looking down. But I am paying attention.
Maya, the audio listeners don't know that.
Video watchers, I'm trying
to
pull all my nails off. But I am listening. Continue.
Someone get her fidget spinner. Okay, something's in the water. I've been leaving my house more, and maybe it's just LA. People aren't like this in Washington.
I'm ready.
But yeah, I've been leaving my house more, and I'll take Swifts on the walks in the middle of the day, and I've made a commitment where I cannot have coffee if, number one, I don't make it, or number two, I don't walk to go get it. I can't just order coffee. It's not allowed.
Respect.
I have to walk there. So I've been walking more, which is good and healthy and good because I'm trying to be able to shop at Aritzia. So I've got to lose 40 pounds.
God.
And anyway, so I'm walking and this sounds like so dumb. I keep getting hit on, but I keep getting like catcalled by people more than ever before. I don't know if it's like pent up hormones from like COVID or what.
Maybe you're ovulating and they can feel
they can smell it.
Yeah.
Oh.
They can sense it. They can feel it in the air.
Wow.
Maybe your aura is fertile right now.
Wow. You know, someone once told me that my aura was moonstone just because they were high.
I don't know what that implies. What does that mean?
Don't worry about it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, my aura is very fertile. And so people are hitting on me, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I don't look I looked better 19-year-old me trying to be a slut than I do now. I don't know why they weren't hitting on me then when I was a minor. I guess I was 18. I might have been 17. Who knows? Here I go again.
She's lying
again. Manuela's not even real. Anyway, sorry, long story short. So I'm in line at this restaurant where it's like an eat outdoors restaurant. There's lots of them in LA. And I was like, I'm going to go get yogurt and have myself a nice breakfast. And I'm going to have yogurt and coffee. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to bring a book and I'm going to bring my dog and it's going to be great.
Cute.
But you order at the hostess thing and then you walk and you find your table, right? I also am the worst with NPC interactions. You can ask Maya. No, I'm saying like I'm the worst as in like I start chit-chatting, I'm up.
Oh, she does love it. She really NPCs them.
I'm like Tom Nook and you just came to my shop. I'm like, tell me about it.
Is.
Oh, wow. This is a gaming podcast. You don't even know who Tom Nook is.
I am a gamer.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there with Swift. And like something I do personally, I love doing this, is I like to catcall dogs that walk by. I like to be like, he's got the fluffiest butt. And people are always like, dee. And I'm like, keep it up. You know, I flirt with the dogs that walk by. So I'm sitting there in line by myself, flirting with every dog that walks by. And Swift is just watching me like this bitch.
Swift is scared.
Swift is a nervous Nancy. So he's always panting. And it wasn't too hot because it was really early in the morning. And the guy in front of me, of course, happens to be there alone as well, turns around and he's like...
He has a dog too?
No. he's like,
Damn it.
oh, is your dog too hot? I can get it some water.
Okay,
And I was like,
nice.
oh, that's nice. I was like, no, he's just shy. He'd pant if it was snowing right now. Like he's really shy. And he's like, oh, I'll get him water. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he asked the waiter guy for water, and the waiter guy brings out water, and I'm just sitting there, and he's like, so where are you from? And I'm like, Washington. He's like, did you just move here? And I was like, oh, 3 years ago. And like, we start doing small talk, but I'm like, I'm good with NPCs. I'm very charismatic. And so I'm making my jokes and I'm doing my thing. I am in no way, I would like to make this very clear, flirting. I am just doing my typical NPC conversations where I'm just filling the time because this person is in front of me in the line.
Making conversation.
However, I can tell that maybe he is interested. He loves me.
How'd you know?
Well, because like, why is he talking to me so much?
Fair.
Like, I usually make 2 or 3 jokes and then they're done with me. But this guy, he keeps going, and he's like telling me about this seminar that he went to about how he wants to be his own boss. And my favorite thing to do, and this doesn't help with our whole we don't lie thing. Well, I don't think this is a lie. People will be like, what do you do for a living? And in LA, like, people are used, like, if you're talking to a young person, you can say I'm a Twitch streamer, you can say I'm an influencer, you can say I'm a YouTuber, you can say any of those things. I like to say, oh, I'm a professional gamer.
Okay.
What?
That's not a lie. I've never heard you say that. That's what I say too.
Okay, that's a lie for you.
I don't. You know what I say, and it's actually a problem, is I say, I work at an animal sanctuary. And then they ask more questions, and then it kind of like unravels into what really sounds like a lie. Because they're like, oh, where is it? And I like say where it is, and they're like, oh, I haven't heard of it. Can I visit? And I was like, no. I'm like, no, no one can come there. No one knows where it is because you can't say where it is.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, how'd you start working there? And I was like, actually, I it's mine. Like, actually, I founded it.
Actually, I founded it. They're like, how old are you? You're like 25.
25. It actually just seems like I'm lying. I despise it. I hate talking about what I do in public.
Well, then you should lie and say you're a professional gamer.
I should. You're right. And then they're going to say, what game? And I'm going to say...
League of Legends. That's
League
what I
of
say.
Legends. And I say Anyway, keep going.
Why? You don't want to tell me what position you play in League of Legends?
I play in the middle.
And what character?
Annie.
Wow, that's so cool. Who's your favorite player?
Her bear.
Professional player.
Oh, person?
Uh-huh.
Bjergsen.
She's done it. Huge, everybody! Yeah!
So I thought you meant the player in the game.
Shout out Bjergsen.
I don't know any other ones besides Annie, so.
Yeah. Well, that was good. That was pretty good. You followed through.
Timu's
a player. It just sounded... I mean,
No,
not a player. He's a character.
Yeah.
He just sounded like not a real word when it came out of your mouth for some reason.
Timo.
It's Timo.
Anyway,
yeah,
continue.
That's
Sorry.
why.
So this you kept having this conversation. It escalated.
Wait, it's gonna bother me. What is the name of the sad mummy? His name is the sad mummy. The sad mummy. League of Legends. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Sad mummy.
Give me the first letter.
I don't. You won't know it, but the way you said
Amumu.
Yeah, the way you said Timu made me. I was like, both of them were popping in my head, like Timo and Amumu.
That's
and I
actually
was like, what is happening? No, but Timo is. Anyway. Whoa, sorry, you up my brain. You made a hybrid that I wasn't ready for. Should I get Botox every time I raise my eye? Do you see?
No, Botox is scary.
Okay, I'll be fine. Okay. Continuing. So he's
you're
like,
in love.
So no, I'm not in love. But he keeps talking to me. He's like, oh, video games, which one? I'm like, League of Legends. He's like, cool, blah, blah. And he's like, what's your dog name? I'm like, Swift. And he's like, after Taylor Swift? I'm like, yeah, I love Taylor Swift. And he was like, oh, did you go to her concert? I'm like, yeah. And so it's just like, he just won't stop. And I would like to mind you, whenever there's a pause, I'm done with my NPC interaction. I'm not pushing A anymore. I'm just sitting there petting my dog or like looking at my phone. I'm trying to keep to myself. And then he'll turn around and be like, so what are you doing later? And I'm like, like, you know, like, here we go again. No. And
sorry.
we get to the hostess thing. And he's in front of me. And the host, so he orders, and the host goes, oh, table for 3, looking at me, him, and my dog. And the guy turns around and he like goes like, he like does a little shoulder raise, eyebrow raise, like, if you wanna.
Oh, man.
And so I go, oh, I'm so sorry. I have lots of work to get done. Because you don't want to just be like, okay, this is why. And a lot of men in the comments, you might be like, why don't you just say you have a boyfriend right then? Because I don't know. It's so presumptuous to assume that he wanted anything past platonic. And sometimes when you're mean to men and you say I have a boyfriend, they say, I wasn't fucking hitting on you, you ugly ass bitch. And you're like, I didn't feel like being called an ugly bitch today. It's a Tuesday and it's hot outside almost. It was like 10 a.m. So it wasn't hot yet, but it could have been. Anyway, stressful. So I was like, gotta get a lot of work done. So sorry. He was like, no worries. He goes and he sits by himself. Great. I wait. I stall because they're like, someone dropped a glass. So they're cleaning up the glass. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I'm sitting there stalling. And then they're like, okay, ready for you and your dog. I'm like, great. I ordered my yogurt and then and my coffee, and they take me to my table. My table is like 15 feet away from his. I'm like, ugh. And he's just staring at me the whole time.
No, dude.
And I'm like, ugh.
That's so awful.
So then I try to do my normal NPC thing. Other people sitting at tables by me, they're like, cute dog. And I'm like, and so then I start talking to them. I'm like, see, I'm an engaging person. I wasn't flirting with you. I'm talking to everybody. And then I sit there on my phone and I'm doing work and I'm just eating at a normal pace. I'm like, okay, I have not looked his direction for a good 20 minutes. Surely he's not looking at me, or he has left, hopefully, you know, like, cause like, I mean, he like told me in line, he was ordering like the tacos or something. And I was like, I'm just getting a yogurt. So I was like, maybe his tacos take longer and blah, blah, blah. It's been 20, 30 minutes. I'm texting Ludwig, like panicking, like, I don't know, this guy, like, blah, blah, blah. He's staring at me. It makes me uncomfortable. And then I look over, and the restaurant is more crowded now because it's getting later. It's like brunch time. And I can't like see him anymore. So either he's blocked by my view or he's left.
He's under your table.
Coast is clear. No, just wait. I stand up to leave. I shit you not, as I'm walking out, quite literally bump into him. Like he leaves at the exact, like, serendipity. We're soulmates, I guess. But not really, because I don't like him. He walks out. We like quite literally bump into each other, and he was like, oh, fantastic timing. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you know? And I was like, how was your tacos? He was like, good. And I was like, cool. And then he was like, I'm happy we bumped into each other, because I was going to say, like, maybe you'd want to get coffee together sometime.
Aww.
And I was like, no. And I believe that honesty is the best policy. So then I said, you know what? Thank you so much for the offer, but I don't think my boyfriend would like that. And then he was like, no worries at all. Your boyfriend is such a lucky guy. It is hard to find ones like you. And I'm like,
he knows you.
So and then number one, your soul. Yeah, he knows my soul. Number one, I'm bad at taking compliments. Don't make me very uncomfortable. Number two, I'm bad at people being presumptuous. And so my deflection and sense of humor and like everything in me, for some reason, this just comes out like vomit. I go, you don't even know me. I could be addicted to meth. And he goes, huh? I said, you just said my boyfriend's lucky, but he's dealing with a meth addict. And he goes, okay. I go, anyway, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. I walk the opposite direction.
Oh my God. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It just came out.
I mean, I guess you got him off your case for sure.
Yeah, I didn't say it mean. I said it very much so like
no,
I just
I know
said
exactly how you said it. I can imagine you saying it.
Yeah,
it's just like you're feeling really awkward and you just make a joke.
Yeah.
I do get that, but that is so weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird. Plus, I've kept my bit up that I started when you were in town, where whenever I'm getting myself a table, I'm like, I'm a cool one.
Yeah,
like,
it's a good bit.
I'm a cool group of one.
I'll tip a lot.
Yeah.
Put me at a nice table. You'll love me.
I flirt with the waiters a little bit.
She does. It is kind of funny.
It is funny, but I
Wow.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was my story.
Maybe you're fertile. And they can
Because I'm
feel
not
it.
hot.
No, you're also hot.
Thank you.
But it's not like you're recently hot. You've
Do
been.
you want to cancel Ludwig?
Yes.
Because I got home, and he gets home later, and I like tell him the end of the story. I'm like, "Can you believe?" And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I stand up to walk into the room, and he's like, "Were you wearing those shorts?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Your ass looks great in those shorts."
Okay.
Maybe that's why he was hitting on you. And I said, "So I was asking for it."
Oh. I thought he was going to say something mean. I thought he was going to be like, you were wearing those and he hit on you?
No.
I thought it was going to be like that. I was like, that's so mean.
No, Ludwig has
That's nice.
quite literally never been mean to me that I can think of in recent memory.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is like, it feels like a handful in like a few months now.
Yeah. Well, in like the past month alone, but I think it's because I'm forcing myself to go outside. And okay. I think people in LA are just much more aggro with hitting on people.
Mm.
And I'm not used to that because number one, I'm from Washington. Number two, no one goes outside. It's always just cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think COVID, maybe people are like itching to, it's also perfect time to get ready to get a girlfriend before cuffing season.
Why is it called cuffing season?
Because
you handcuff them to you?
I thought it was something
and
to do
keep
with
them
mittens.
for the winter?
Like something, why is it called cuffing? I'm Googling it.
I don't know. I assume it's because you attach them to yourself.
New relationship and older relationships turn into
on Barbie.
Oh yeah. During fall and winter months, people who would normally rather be single or promiscuous find themselves along the rest of the world desiring to be cuffed or tied down by a serious relationship. I hate tied down.
Yeah.
Taken. The cuffed definition is taken or held. And so cuffing season is like linking up season, I suppose.
It's a kink season. So you want to talk about aliens?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because I had another story to tell you that I can't remember right now, and it's driving me crazy.
The only thing I can remember in the past week is you saying, like, I have to tell you about this guy hitting on me, but you were going to save it. I don't remember anything else.
Oh, you saw the Barbie movie.
I did.
And you're woke now.
I saw the Barbie movie.
Women's rights.
And I'm woke, and I now believe in women's rights.
That's great.
Yeah.
Were you confused? I'm going to be a film major now.
Okay.
Were you confused about anything? Let me unpack it for you.
No. I don't remember being confused. Or like, wait, why did this happen? Or wait, what did she say? Or why is this like this? I don't remember that.
Really?
Mm-mm.
So, when I watched it, the only scene that I was confused about was the scene where Barbie goes into that room with Rhea Perlman.
Are we... A spoiler alert. Okay, go ahead.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it by now, you don't care to go see it.
Maybe.
You're waiting for it to come out on Netflix or whatever.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, if you are waiting for it to be streamable because that is more affordable, I respect the hustle.
You were confused when she went in there.
When she went in there, and then there was just that old lady, right?
Okay.
That was a little strange.
Okay.
Turns out that was the only scene that Greta Gerwig refused to cut. Like, other people wanted it cut. I don't know, the producers or something like that. They wanted that scene cut. And she was like, absolutely not. I will walk from the movie if you cut that scene because it meant so much to her. So I did research. I did research on this because I find stuff like this fascinating, especially when it comes to like, women. And I found this really great documentary about the creation of Barbie because Rhea, whose name I think I'm saying correctly, Rhea Perlman, is playing Ruth Handler in that scene.
Ruth Handler is dead, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So essentially, Ruth Handler is like the creator of Barbie. And in the scene, Barbie is trying to escape Mattel, and she stumbles into this room that just has this old woman that's there, like, who's very like nurturing and kind of gives her this pep talk. And then also at the very end of the film, she sees her again and she gets another pep talk from this woman. And this woman is Ruth Handler. And one of the most fascinating things, and this is such a rabbit hole that is typical of me to get lost into. But Ruth Handler, she was like this badass businesswoman that people don't fucking talk about. Because of what Barbie became. Right. Which when you think of Barbie, you know, you think of a lot of like feminists being mad about like body image, or which right. I mean, admittedly, it did some shit up like
that. That is the yeah. Well, I have some stuff to say about that, but keep talking.
I remember at a young age burning off Barbie's boobs because I wanted them to be like mine.
Oh, that's sad.
Because my boobs were never going to get that big.
I always thought that I was going to have big boobs because my mom had breast cancer. She got a double mastectomy. And so she essentially got a boob job because she had breast cancer. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be like my mom because that's how that works. And then they just stopped growing.
It's messed up.
And I was like, Mom, what the hell? And she's like, Maya, these are my boobs. Anyway, keep going.
So what happened was, so there's this big thing, like baby dolls. All little girls were from a very young age playing house, playing mom, right? You get these baby dolls and you're a little girl and you would try to raise a baby. And it's like, holy moly. Meanwhile, boys are like out there with like monster trucks or action figures or obviously shoulders are the little toy soldiers. Soldiers. Soldiers is propaganda, but besides the point, there were a lot of options for boys and there weren't for girls. And Ruth apparently would see her daughter play with paper dolls. So there was either the baby dolls or the paper version, which if you never played with paper dolls, they were hype. You'd get like all these dresses that you'd cut out and then you'd fold them on the doll, and it was like so cute. And they were like women. They were like, you know, full grown women. And so Ruth was like, what if we made dolls that look like grown women? So then these girls playing with them could project themselves in whatever they want to do. They don't have to be a mom with a baby. They could see themselves as like a businesswoman or an astronaut or this or that. Like one of the very first Barbies made with a job was quite literally an astronaut Barbie, or like the President Barbie. Like they were like very, like her whole point was trying to encourage little girls to see themselves as adults and see the possibility, because obviously back when this, you know, in the 50s, not a lot of women were working. And so then Ruth was in a trip to Europe, and she was in Germany, and she saw this little doll. It was called a bid lily. I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm dyslexic, but it was kind of like Betty Boop. So, you know, Betty Boop was kind of like very weirdly sexualized cartoon, but it was kind of like a German version of that, but it was the kind of a shape of a Barbie doll. And they had these little dolls of it, just like they had dolls of Betty Boop or figurines of Betty Boop back in the day. And she saw this doll and she's like, that's the Barbie that I want, because people had told her that it was impossible to make this Barbie. They're like, no way. Like, you know, like you're going to give a young girl a doll with boobs. Like that's crazy and disgusting. And so she was like, no, we're going to, like, I want to turn this into Barbie. And she got it made. She took it to the American International Toy Fair. I believe in like 1960, 1959, she took it there. And it was like an instant success. Like she proved everyone wrong. Everyone told her like girls would never want this. Like it's too sexual. Like parents won't let it in the house. But then as soon as like little girls saw it, and they
sexual.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. As soon as little girls saw it and they were able to like, you know, play imagination with something besides being a mother, it was like huge. And they sold like 350,000 dolls that first year. And it was like insane. But yeah, that is kind of the existence of Barbie.
I liked that scene where she went in there with the woman. I didn't know who the woman was until the end of the movie, but once I found out who it was, I was like, oh, that's cool. Because they also made a comment about like Ruth is like ghost lives in like, has like this office in this building or whatever, and so I assume it's just like in reference to that. And the idea of like it all being the men up there and it just being so scary and predatory, literally, because they were like chasing her, and then going into this room and all of a sudden it's just like woman nurturing, like I feel safe now, I think is pretty powerful. But yeah, the movie itself was cool. What I was gonna say is I get what she was trying to do, and I get that Barbie is really cool, but also why make her look like that, you know? Like why the like idealized blonde, blue-eyed, skinny girl? Did you hear anything about that?
Did you know that it was supposed to be played by Amy Schumer?
The movie?
Yeah.
No.
Amy Schumer was supposed to play Barbie.
Didn't know that. I mean, I don't mean the movie, though. I mean, like, the doll itself.
Oh!
Like, why did she originally make it such a idealized version of female beauty?
It was so that Bitty Lily doll was kind of, like, mostly for truckers. Like, they would buy it kind of like Betty Boop. Like, you know how, like, truckers have their mud flaps, they have the sexy girls. So they would, like, buy that little doll and, like, hang it from their rear view mirror or put it on their truck dash or whatever. So it was mostly for men. And from what I believe, it was the quickest turnaround to kind of keep that figure, which was a bit of a sexualized figure because it was a doll made for men. However, over the years, Barbie's waist has gotten smaller and her boobs have gotten bigger, and that wasn't Ruth's call.
Build Lily.
Build Lily, yeah. But even then, like, the proportions were not as bad as they are now.
And why do we think they're that way now?
Patriarchy? That is the patriarchy. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's the patriarchy. I genuinely believe that because it did start, like, every interview you could ever see with Ruth, and I believe this woman is like, she was like, I just wanted girls to be able to use their imagination to see themselves in the future with jobs. Like I said, like, the very first Barbies to come out were jobs. Like, they had jobs. They were astronauts. They weren't like, it was never like homemaker Barbie until years later. Then all of a sudden, like, you know, other people took over the company. And then that's when you start getting, like, I believe in the 90s, there was like a 90s Barbie. It was like teenage Barbie, and you'd like click on her, like, she had voice lines, and she'd be like,
I love fashion.
Yeah, she'd be like, I love shopping. Who needs math? Like, both, you know, and slowly it became like an icon for imagination, then became a symbol of dumb blonde. Yeah. Even though I do believe little girls were using it still for imagination, it was society that had decided to shift it, because it's that long going monologue about how society will always take female interests and belittle them in some way, shape, or form. And I believe that's kind of what happened to Barbie. I don't I think I'm pretty close. Obviously this is all based off of memory, but I think I'm pretty close to being correct with most of the things I've said. But I know for a fact that Ruth was, like, very much so, like, an advocate. And even eventually Ruth herself got breast cancer, and then invented, like, one of the very first, like, breast replacement for women that you could wear. It was a wearable breast replacer, kind of like chest plates now, but it was like these kind of like almost like sandbags that you could wear. That would fill in where a breast was missing, because she had to have a mastectomy. And then, so she went on and, like, committed, like, a big chunk of her career to, like, helping that cause and standing for women there. And, eventually, actually, she got, and I have read mixed things here. She got charged for fraud and
Mhm.
false reporting, like taxes and something like that.
Oh.
And she had to pay. But there's this thing where it's actually, I know the Wikipedia says something different. The Wikipedia just says like, yeah, she blamed her cancer for like making her not think straight. But there have been multiple other accounts talking about the situation where she actually kind of put her name out there to save someone else from going to jail. I forget
Sounds
who
like
the
a
person
fascinating
was.
woman.
But yeah, she was like genuinely a fascinating woman. Everybody told her Barbie would fail. Everybody told her like little girls won't want to play with that. Little girls just want to be little girls. They don't want to think about the future. Like little girls don't want jobs. Little girls don't, little girls don't want, so anyway, it's
my most
it's a cool story,
powerful it was a cool movie. I'm glad it was done the way that it was. It's not what I was expecting.
No, I thought it was going to be more fun, and then I left having to be like,
having a crisis.
Think of things, yeah.
I left having a crisis. The most powerful part of the movie for me was when they got to the real world and she looks up at the billboard and it's like Miss America or something. It's a bunch of women in tiaras and sashes and bikinis, and she goes, "Oh, look, it's the Supreme Court." And like that's funny because in the real world today, no one's going to look at beautiful women in bikinis and think that they're the Supreme Court or like Supreme Court justices. And it made me think about there's when you're like you're supposed to be pretty, right? But then when you're pretty, it's like that's your value. And if people see a pretty woman, like that's all they see. And it made me think about as a CEO, executive director, when I'm talking to somebody, most people that I'm talking to, agents, like they already know what I look like and what I sound like, right? Because like we're online. But if I'm talking to someone for Alveus that does not know what it is besides a nonprofit, like a banker, right? Or like someone who would not know who I am, I prefer doing everything over email because the second that they hear my voice on the phone, or if I meet up with them in person and they see what I look like, I'm immediately like, now I have to be like 3 times better, smarter, more articulate than like I should have to be. But because of what I look like, they're gonna be like, oh, what is this child doing leading this business? Over email, they don't know that. All they know is that I'm a woman, right? But I think that the way I look and the way that I sound makes it harder for people to look at me and be like, oh, smart, or like, oh, capable, or like, oh, CEO.
Something that it made me sad was like during the movie when she sits next to that old woman at the bus stop and just starts like telling the old woman how beautiful she is.
Yeah.
I don't know why that made me sad, but I was like, that's so sad because I feel like people don't do that. They just write off old people a lot of the time. Like age isn't beauty here. And so it's just like, it was just sad.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the beauty standard is something that like we all want to chase all the time. It's always like, I want to do my makeup like this girl, or I want to dye my hair, or like I want to be skinnier, or I want to whatever. And it's like something that we always chase, but then once we get it and like we're like people think we're pretty, then it's like, oh, you're fucked now. Also, like don't get me wrong, there's like pretty privilege is a thing, right? Like people are nicer to you if they think you're prettier sometimes. But yeah, it's really fucked up because then you just don't get taken seriously. They're like, oh, she's just pretty girl. I don't know. This is why I haven't done enough thinking about the movie. I left having an existential crisis, and I need to like really have an actual crisis and spiral and stare at a wall for 5 hours to have any sort of articulate conclusion.
I tried not to think much about it, but I will say I'm happy Michael Cera's in a movie again. Put Michael Cera in more movies.
I don't know who that is.
He's who played Alan. He's a funny guy.
Oh, hooray!
I like him. Alan. He's funny.
He was funny.
I do think Ryan Gosling was a weird choice.
I thought he was good. I thought he was funny.
I was just like, why? But you know what's funny? A lot of people don't know this. Everyone knows that like Barbie was named after Ruth's daughter, Barbie. But then also Ken was named after their son, which is funny because Barbie and Ken are in love.
Yuck.
Yeah. So I bet they didn't think about it like that.
wish that I articulated my points better, but I don't even know what I mean by them. Now I'm self-conscious about the way I said them.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think you did fine.
So I was like, that makes no sense, actually, everything I just said.
Oh.
It happens.
think
I
you
need
did
some more
great.
time.
Okay, she'll think about it.
I'll think about it.
Did you
But
watch
the-
this? Oh,
The concept of like her looking at beautiful women and being like Supreme Court is, and the irony of it and being like, wow, yeah, people would not do that today is just interesting and really heavy and a lot to think about, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny because she says that and everyone laughs in the thing because it's a joke, but it's clearly not a joke to her. So the fact that we're laughing because, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's just
It's
ironic. No one would
Compared to
ever look
like
at
if
them
it was a
and-
picture of 12 old men up there and she
Oh,
said,
Supreme
"Oh,
Court."
Supreme Court," no one would laugh.
It's
We'd be
not a
like, yeah, that
joke.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it's just people see pretty and they're like, well, they must not be blank 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 because they're pretty and hot. But also they want us to be pretty and hot. So like that's fucked up.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
Time to go to war.
Time to go to with who?
The patriarchy.
Oh, I'm tired.
Oh.
I'll be honest, the
That's what they
patriarchy
want you to
has
say.
bigger muscles than me. They just do.
They're just so strong.
They're just so strong and good looking.
Yeah.
I could never. I won't talk shit because that would be mean and I would never.
Never.
But the Streamies were on yesterday.
Oh.
Did you watch them at all?
Not at all. No.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to talk about that.
Oh.
I watched them and I will just say I couldn't watch much of them because I was simply busy. That's why I couldn't. Not because it was hard to watch. That would be mean and I wouldn't say that. All I will say is I went into this year a little salty because of some things. And then I watched it and then I realized I have nothing to be salty about.
Oh my god.
It's just such a different, no, it's such a different show. It's just so incredibly different. It's so incredibly different. Like what they're focused on versus what I'm focused on. That I was like, why have I even compared them in my head? And I think I've only compared them in my head because I've never watched them.
I've never watched them.
They're incredibly different.
I've seen a couple clips on TikTok, but that's it.
Yeah. It was very interesting for sure.
Interesting. Cutie's going to tell us her real thoughts on the Streamies right now on the Patreon episode.
I am not. I don't have anything mean to say. I really don't have anything mean to say besides we're different.
Yeah.
We're different, baby. But yeah, check out the Patreon if you haven't yet.
Yay, Patreon.
We'll have our bonus episode over there. And other bonus content is on there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed.
Yay, go check it out. See you guys over there.
Bye.
Goodbye.